We ask all listeners to gamble responsibly. All odds and tips mentioned in this podcast are personal opinions and used in reference to the Kindred brands. Welcome back to the Kindred Kickoff podcast. I'm joined today by podcast veterans Nicholas and Benji. We're also joined by Christian. So Christian was on the second episode, I believe, game week 2. Christian is, of course, a big Chelsea fan and is responsible for our sponsorships within Kindred Group. We're going to kick off again with mine and Nicholas's team, not through choice this time. We are the early kickoff on Saturday, 12:30, Man United Fulham. I'm going to start with Nicholas.
Yes.
To my left. Christian is, of course, online today, so I'll be passing over to Christian as and when. Nicholas, what have we got?
We've got 2 bets.
Yeah.
None of them related to results. I'm not going to touch United results.
Can I just add that when I said at the start of the pod before we started recording that I think this is going to be a draw, I got told to politely F off by Nicholas. So that's my prediction, but I'll let Nicholas.
Just before that, I'll jump in quickly saying the 12:30 kickoff is always a different one.
Cagey affair.
Yeah, so let's see.
Fulham also nicked a point off Brighton last week as well.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, go ahead now.
Andreas Pereira to have a shot on target, 218. I think Man United seem to be the team that always are punished by previous players.
Yeah.
Pereira spent a number of years there. 218, he takes a lot of speculative shots from way out and free kicks, etc. I think that's a good price.
The pre-season Pirlo.
Indeed. He scored some absolute worldies. And he was always going to be his breakthrough season with Man United.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah. I also think that Man United have most corners at 218 is a good price. They're averaging 6.2 corners a game against 5.2 corners against. Fulham only 4.94 and 4.2 against. If you combine those two, that's 420.
Nice.
That's always the same thing we said with Fulham as well. Is they don't really have chances. Like it's just
Don't talk too soon, mate. They're playing.
No, I know. I know.
They're not exactly fluid at the minute. They were good last season, really hard to beat. They nicked a few points off the bigger
But they had an
teams.
amazing goal scorer.
Yeah. And the red card merchant.
Yeah.
As we've discussed.
But also the thing is, like, he was scoring a lot of goals, but he was also playing the, how do you say it, anchor man role. So you kick your goal kick, you have a big guy to chest
target
it
man,
down,
yeah.
a target man, No, they don't have that. So just to get up the field is already a mission for them.
What's target man in French?
Olivier Giroud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you cannot, and he's a
I'm
lot
a
more
big
than
fan.
that.
I'm a
He's a
big
lot
fan
more
of
than that.
Giroud, by the way.
Giroud is a
Just
legend.
getting that in the pod.
One of the most underrated football players.
I agree. Christian, anything from your side on the United Fulham early kickoff?
Yeah, I actually had a score draw. It's 4.20, so equaling Niklas's recommendation there.
Yeah.
Although I haven't just looked at it, Man United are one of the only 2 teams not to have drawn a game this season with City, so maybe it's not a good recommendation.
It's all for or against with United. It's either win or lose, you know? It's 50-50.
Yeah. I was looking into players to score for this one, and I feel like Rashford, he's obviously having an under par season, but it feels like he needs to get going at some point this year. I really rate him as a player, and I was really surprised that he's actually had the second most shots in the league behind Haaland with 34 shots, but he's only had 7 on target, so pretty poor.
wow.
Watching him week in, week out, I can't dispute that. I'm not surprised that he's having the second most amount of shots. We'll move away from United. We've got another London derby. Brentford, West Ham. Brentford, that's good last week. West Ham have back-to-back defeats. How do we see this one? Brentford at home.
So they're already more than twice the money at home. So if you don't want to risk too much and you think they can win, that's not a bad bet. But West Ham, what did they do last week? Was that the Villa week?
Yeah.
So we thought they would do a bit better, and then it was 2-1. It was tied for a bit.
Last week was Everton. The week before was...
The week before, I had
was Villa.
the Dean missing card. Cue sad music. Yeah, so I think West Ham's momentum it's been a bit haltered.
Yeah.
Brentford is always not that easy to play.
Both counter-attacking sides, actually.
Who's gonna win the ball?
Yeah.
Are West Ham gonna be happy to leave it to Brentford as as being the away team? I don't know. We can ask the Spice Boy what he sees here.
I actually think draw away as a double chance combined with both teams to score.
Yeah.
255, I quite like that. Jared Bowen has scored in all away games in the Prem this year, 5 on the trot. For him to score a goal is 375.
That's a real stat.
Yeah, quite like that. I think he tied it with Mo Salah and someone else to ever have done that, and I think he goes up top as the sole player who've done it in 6.
That's unreal.
If he scores, and 375 I think is quite juicy.
Maybe we need to change your name from Spice Boy to Stat Boy.
Statman Nick.
Stat Man. Yeah.
He's our quant.
Yeah. To be fair, you're not wearing the spicy t-shirt though, but you have got an orange t-shirt on, which kind of signifies some spice, like medium level spice.
Oh
right?
my god, here we go with the grading of spices again.
I'm just saying, I'm just chucking it in there.
Yeah. If you actually add over 2.5 goals to that 255, you get 375. So
Yeah.
draw away, both teams to score, and over 2.5, 375. I quite like that. Because I can easily see West Ham bounce back. And Brentford they're an interesting side. I think they always do the opposite of what I expect them to do. When I expect them to win, they choke, and the
Yeah.
opposite. So a 1-2.
I can see both teams scoring for sure.
Yeah.
I can see this being a high scoring draw potentially. Benji, anything from your side on Brentford West Ham?
No, I'm staying away.
Staying away.
Staying away.
And from you, Christian?
Yeah, I'm inclined to stay away. It's one of the
Yeah.
4 ties that I think could be a draw. The only one I would look into is maybe Mbeumo getting a shot over 1.5 shots on targets at 2.4. He's got the 3rd best XG
Yeah.
behind Haaland and Salah in the league at the moment.
He's for the 3rd batch. I'm surprised by that actually. Next game, speaking of high XG, I can see this one being a bit of a maul-in. We've got Man City versus Bournemouth. Man City at home. Bournemouth off the back of their first win.
I watched the Ballon d'Or ceremony. We're not going to get into detail of that, but Haaland was challenged by Drogba and Lineker about his next celebration.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they're playing. Today's Wednesday at the time of this recording. I don't know if they're playing in the cup. Probably he wouldn't.
They're out. They're out the cup.
Oh yeah, they lost last round.
Newcastle,
Absolutely.
He gets to rest.
So he's playing. He gets to rest like the Euros and the World Cups. So he yeah, I see him scoring goal. I think they're gonna score. They're gonna make a
I
statement
could see
win.
it being
They're gonna
around.
like have a whole. Everybody gets a goal. Everybody gets a shot. Everybody gets a pen. It's gonna be the whole. Yeah.
They didn't really come out of second gear against United.
No.
Don't need to.
And they didn't need to. And that's the thing. They have that gear if they need to. And I want them to see them challenge, but I don't know who will in the Prem.
Yeah. So
Maybe later in the season
That's
at some
another-
other points. But I mean, again, we said that, and then they lost
yeah,
twice
it's
in
true.
the same week.
I mean,
so-
people had the case of they weren't coming into the derby with great form, but yeah, I mean, Rodri is obviously key to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and obviously De Bruyne's still out. So you take these injuries out of teams, as I've mentioned previously on podcasts. You take 3 or 4, or 2 or 3 big players out of these teams. They do tend to suffer for it.
Hey,
Chris,
it was hard to find a bet in this game for me.
yeah, it's not one that's going to be. There's not going to be much value in this, is there?
I found one.
Far away.
City to be awarded a penalty, 350.
Yeah.
Will they ever? Would they? Yeah. The only case it doesn't happen is if they're up 2-0 after 10 minutes and they don't even need it.
Yeah.
Or the ref will be like, "Guy, no, come on, poor Bournemouth." They're not gonna no, but you see refs doing that.
Yeah, I know.
When you're up 3-0, there's a blatant foul, and the ref is like, "Come on, look at them, they're
Yeah,
suffering."
yeah, yeah.
No, you gotta call them. Like, the worst is when they stop the injury time when it's 6-0, and then they put 5 minutes injury time, and then like,
you-
you already killed them. That's it. You don't
Did you
need
not
it.
see the other week in the United Copenhagen game when the ref ended the half early?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done with this.
That reminds
I
me
don't even want to watch anymore.
What was it? The African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
Where they
Oh yeah, that was,
87
but
minute,
that
the
was,
guy's like,
that
"This
was,
is
yeah,
it."
that was another reason.
Yeah.
There was another reason for that, which we won't go into.
Christian, you have anything on City?
enjoyed the AFCON reference there. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to bring into life, is there? I looked at. It just felt like one of those games where 4-0 was a good call because it's 7.5. And then I looked into the City results at home to Bournemouth, and 3 of the 6 games they have played at home to Bournemouth have been 4-0, which is probably why I've got that in my head somewhere. They scored 22 goals in those 6 games, and Bournemouth scored 3. So I actually would think City to win, Haaland to score, and Billing yellow card at 4.3 is a more conservative one. Lewis Cook got sent off and is still suspended, and Billing is playing a bit deeper, so he'll have to do a bit more tackling, I think.
I like that.
Well,
I like the logic.
Yeah. But please don't give me correct score patterns.
Because sometimes logic goes out the
That's
window.
the road one.
You know?
There's no sense behind it, but it's the road one.
This game is Sheffield United, who are desperate down there, and Wolves, who are starting to get some plaudits. Not just on this pod, but I think universally they're starting to get some plaudits. Obviously, Gary O'Neill's had very little to spend, but they're playing a decent attacking brand of football. Whether it's counter-attack is debatable, but I'm liking what they've put together with nothing, no budget. Hats off to him.
I mean, they're going to sell Neto to Real Madrid at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So.
Unbelievable.
You feel
Oh,
that's
man,
Real?
what a guy. No, maybe not Real, but I don't see him staying there.
No, he won't stay there.
He's absolutely unreal.
That's got 60 plus million written all over it. If it's United, probably 100.
If it's PSG too.
That's not fair.
If it's Chelsea, no, you have too many players.
Chelsea have got about 9 wingers, haven't they?
Christian.
Yes, too many.
Yeah.
Too many.
Have we got any tips on the Sheffield United versus Wolves? Sheffield United are at home as well, worth bearing that in mind. Nothing.
I mean, a Neto shot on target is 170. It's starting to reduce every week.
Yeah, of course.
It's not really high.
Has he not got a hamstring injury?
Has he?
Is he going to be fit? I don't know how serious it was. I know he hobbled off.
That's worth checking.
Yeah, he might not be fully fit.
If you do believe in Wolves, again, I mean, that's the thing I wanted to say earlier in the pod, but it's a bit of a crazy week where 8 out of 10 favourites are away and all above twice the money. So if you do believe in Wolves, it's already twice the money. If you add that shot on target from Neto, it's 270. If you think both teams are going to score, like I don't know how Sheffield is, because it's the same thing as you said, they need stuff to happen. But
Yeah.
I've heard some whispers. Not sure where I'm going with this, but cards.
Yeah.
Norwood in Sheffield to pick up a card, 470. He's picked up in 3 out of 9 games. Picked up 1 against Arsenal, and then Bogle or however. I've never really watched Sheffield United because they're not really entertaining. On the right back, if he plays against Neto or Wang, 330. He picked up 1 against Arsenal. As I said, I think they should come out at least wanting to do something.
Yeah.
That risks picking up cards. So both of them I quite like.
there's another thing which I've noticed as well is that for both teams, there's a lot more goals in the second half. So if you want to put, over 1.5 goals in the second half is 2.10 or something like that.
Yeah, Wolves have been getting some late
Because
goals.
it's, the teams that stay kind of conservative till half time.
Yeah,
no one wants to concede, and then eventually.
Last 15 they go all out.
Yeah, exactly. So it happens for both teams.
Bramwell
And
Lane
you can
as
see
well,
that
tough.
in the little Unibet widget on the preview of the game. You have a bunch of stats, and I think that's a really valuable stat. It shows you the form, it shows you a couple of stuff, and one of them is average goals per period, obviously split into 3 quarters per half. So I think that was very valuable. But yeah, I mean, if you look at Sheffield, their top goal scorer is our boy, the Hammer, with 2 goals. So when
He's
your
their
top
top
goal
scorer.
scorer has 2 goals, it's going to be a long season.
And you say that, I think our top goal scorer's got 2 goals as well. So,
Yeah.
And it's Scott McTominay. So that's great. Anyway,
so Christian, anything
Sure.
from your side on this thrilling tie?
Yeah, I mean, Sheffield United have scored the least goals out of any team. When I wanted to shout out Juan Hichan, who's actually got 6 goals
Yes.
from 6 shots or 6 shots, and that he's actually got as many as Bowen. I think going a bit safer, you could do a Cunha shot on target and a Wolves win for 2.4.
Do you mean that South Korean fella, as Pep called him?
Yes.
Yeah, him.
oh my God.
Pep is a meme machine.
Pep can get away with it, it seems.
Yeah.
Nothing said about that. Not that there should be, I don't know what he meant. Next game, another glamorous game. We've got Burnley at home to Crystal Palace.
Bloody hell. Draw, done.
Draw Whisper.
Who's first?
Draw Whisperer. Nicholas has had his piece. Benji's had his piece. Christian.
Palace to win under 2.5 goals, 4.9.
Nice.
Yeah, basically correct score 1-0 away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Saying that though, but I'm not gonna waste too much time on that game.
No, but what were you going to say?
I was gonna say Burnley at home. They picked up a win recently, but then they also got done by Bournemouth. So yeah, let's not.
My problem with Burnley is that, I mean, obviously it's a different league and that they were last year, but it's like last year was magical, the company effect, and now it's
Yeah,
like,
but championship. We've discussed how like championship strikers can look brilliant in the championship and then come up. Obviously, the Cameron Jerome reference. They can come up and do nothing in the Prem. I think it's the same for managers. Like they can look brilliant at that level, but then you look at the competition of managers you've got now, even down to the 10th place manager or whatever it is, the top 10. That's good enough managers to manage almost anywhere. So it's tough. Like it's a different kettle of fish nowadays.
that's fair. I mean, you can look at former Celtic and PSG homegrown player Hudson Edouard to have a shot on target. I think it was in 2 shots on target. It was like 330, something like that. Obviously over 1.5. That's a bit high. You can be a bit more conservative with 1 shot.
Yeah.
For them, but yeah, I do think that Christian's probably right.
Yeah, I think so. Next game, we've got an in-form Everton against everyone's favourite second team, Brighton.
Did you say Calvert-Lewin? No, did I hear? Is that what I heard? No.
Calvert-Lewin's going to come up at some point in every single pod.
Yep.
I mean, Doucouré is one of Niklas's.
Yeah.
One of
It's
Niklas's
more
guy. Huh?
It's more Rowan's guy.
Rowan was quite on Doucouré.
Yeah.
To be fair, Brighton is out of momentum, right?
Yeah.
We glorified them. They were
They're
not.
out of the cup this week, though, so there's no cup game from this
Yeah,
week.
which I think helps them.
Yeah.
With Brighton, it was a streak of good results, and then all of a sudden they had a bad one. But now I feel like the streaks or good results are getting shorter, and the bad one come much more often than they used to. And that's probably what we said as well with the Europa and stuff. It's been terrible in Europa compared to opponents that they should have been better against.
And of course,
AK,
I mean,
especially.
Ajax, we've mentioned before, a complete mess. So
Yeah.
they got the result against Ajax.
I think
but-
we would beat Ajax with the Kindred football team. So jokes apart, all respect to Ajax, but yeah. So I think this game is actually hard to predict.
Yeah, Everton at home, and they're generally like a few weeks ago I was saying that I just want Everton, not me wanting them, but I think Everton should just be one of those teams where they're hard to beat, and I think they've got that now. They've started to get that bit of grit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be a tough game for Brighton, and it's 2 very different styles of football. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Christian, anything on this game?
No, this is a big fence sitter, I think.
Yeah.
I was looking into Evan Ferguson to score. He's been very clinical with his shots this season, but 3 of them have come in 1 game, so I'm not sure I want about that or not.
Next game is.
Okay.
Oh,
Hi.
sorry.
Hi.
Sorry, mate.
Ferguson and Calvert-Lewin, we have to mention him. Shot on target, 225, like that. Ashley Young should be back, and when he's back, he should
Gets
pick
a
up a card.
Yes.
335. He's just so rash in the way he plays.
Is he back from being suspended for card accumulation?
Yeah, no, he got a red card against Liverpool, 2 yellows.
Potato.
Yeah, whatever.
He was an injured.
Yeah, and he could have had 7 yellow cards in those 32 minutes he played.
Oh. Again, Hugh Dean. That's the Dean there.
Yeah, exactly. And you could actually combine that with Onana, or you pick one of the 2.
Yeah.
The midfielder of Everton as well. He's 3 or 5. I think both of them will pick up a card in that game. So yeah.
Doucouré's shot on target is 196. You can look at that if we're gonna quote Rohan. And also, not to sound like completely, but this could be a draw. I mean, every game could be a draw, but this could be a draw.
Yeah.
Like a 2-2, kind of a So I don't know if the police is coming after my bets, but
Just to remind everyone, we are recording from South London, so
Yeah.
there are a lot of sirens. Next game is one of my tips of the week. I think it's going to be a great game. Newcastle at home to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Newcastle have that midweek game against United as well.
I think this...
That squad is starting to get a bit thin now, you know?
It is, and I think every time I watch Newcastle, I just think, what a shithousery team. It's so much shithousery going on in that team. Without Tonali, they've lost one of them, but hey-ho.
I don't know.
Tonali is suspended now.
Yeah,
That's it?
10
As
months,
the
yeah,
ban started?
Confirmed,
Yeah, 10 months.
Because they were looking at loopholes that you could play the next game and stuff. That was last weekend.
This one I think you could go for everything. But Newcastle in these big games tend to be very conservative. There's a lot of being on the floor, crying, whatever. I'm saying this in a very bitter tone, by the way, having seen them against Man United. Corners, since last week's...
Glorious Bournemouth,
Exactly. I think I'll go for a similar pattern here. Over 10, 11, 12, 13. Corners at 208, 265, 3.5 and 4.8. Arsenal are one of the most corner-heavy teams in the league. Cards, Dan Burn, 3.7. Ben White, 4.25. Sean Longstaff, he just strikes me as someone who should always get a card. 480. Funnily enough, he doesn't pick up that many cards.
That was like Rodri last year.
Yeah.
And now he's getting them this year.
Yeah.
I think those are good. I think we kind of get on your vibe from earlier for City match, but penalty kick in the match is 3.2. Between the crying and the status of Arsenal, no, but like that could happen. I need to get into some analysis if the 5:30 Saturday game gets more pens, because it's the one game that happens on its own that everybody watches. I think that game just gets a lot of attention. But I would agree on what you said a bit about them being a bit more conservative, but I also watched them at home against PSG. Obviously that was Champions League, the stadium was crazy, but watched them at home match day 1 against Villa, 5-1 or something. Like, if they score early at home like this, they can get out of control.
Yeah.
And Arsenal is better in the second half than the first half most of the time, or at least on most of the games I've seen. So yeah, it's a tough one, and it's 295 times the money for United and 255 for Arsenal. So it's could really go both ways.
Christian, anything from you?
I like Arsenal's price of this just for an outright win. Yeah, with Newcastle's squad, like you mentioned, I was looking at their bench for the Wolves game, and they made one sub. They brought on Joe Willock, and then the rest of their subs were Paul Dummett, Matt Targett, Emil Kraft, Livramento, Matt Ritchie, and Lewis Hall. So they're really struggling for depth there. And the league games they have lost all been against pretty good teams, City, Liverpool, and Brighton.
Yeah, might see him rotate a bit tonight. To be fair, let's see what they do. Next game, Nottingham Forest v Aston Villa. Pod favourite. Yeah.
Villa to win, over 2.5 goals, and Luis to have a shot on target, 550.
Nice.
Then I've got some cards as well, but
Diaby to score or assist. No, he's not as good as in the first week. Like, he still contributes, but that's why I like every week someone else kind of steps up. This week, this guy's gonna have a better game than the other. But they're
yeah. There's threats all over.
Yeah, and they play. I like that they play. I mean, again, they're to go back to what Christian said and back to what I said earlier. Like, except City and Brentford or at home, all favourites are away. So Villa is 191 the money, and I don't see them not winning this game.
Yeah, I can see it as well.
So watch it not happen, but yeah.
The jinx.
We've all tipped it. Christian, is it a clean sweep?
Yeah, certainly clean sweep.
Yeah. Any tips?
Just the obvious of looking at maybe a Watkins goal or shot.
Yeah.
If you could, the RB on Watkins shot on target with the Villa wins 3.75.
That's nice.
Yes. Why is Douglas Luiz 265?
Because he's away from home, probably.
Yeah. He does home goals.
He only scores at home.
Yeah, but he does take a lot of
That's
shots.
a shot. That's just a
And
shot
he also
on
takes
target.
penalties.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
He's 265 for a short target.
So yeah,
It's more than McGinn.
Yeah.
He would be more than McGinn, though, right?
Would he?
No. I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
No.
I would not agree.
I'm not
with
looking into the stats here.
No,
Just
no,
gut
that's-
feel.
that. But he's more than everyone.
Yeah.
Taiwo,
The
Bailey.
beauty of being at home is I've got the stats in front of me, and Douglas Luiz has only had 7 shots on target this season.
There you go, mate. There's your answer.
Yeah. Recency bias.
Yeah.
I'm buying into it all the way.
No, momentum. You got it.
Yeah.
There is such thing as momentum.
Yeah.
The next game, which I think will be another clean sweep, is Liverpool away to Luton Town.
So yeah, that's the one away match where the favorite is at 1.2. So it's like those games are hard. I mean, penalty in the match. It's like it's the same as a City game. Penalty in the match
Liverpool
for
to get a
Liverpool.
penalty is 375.
It's hard, these games. You can go get the goal scorers, Salahs and stuff, but
Not much value there.
not much value anywhere. Yeah, Trent to have a shot on target, 260 if you think he's going to shoot, because
Yeah.
they're so offensive that he can have a bit more space to do so in such games. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing from you, Nicholas.
No, it's only the Liverpool to be awarded a pen. That is my shout for the game.
And Christian?
I looked to Niklas for some inspiration here, and I looked at the cards. Liverpool win, and marvellous Nakamba to get booked, who's had the joint most fouls in the league.
Not so marvellous.
3.15.
3.5. That's good.
3.15, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Thiago Alcantara is 275 for a shot on target.
Does he
I
play?
feel like I've not seen that. It's like the.
I think he's back. Or maybe.
Gee, yeah, I was just because I was thinking I've not seen him for a while.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool's midfield has been struggling in terms of numbers.
Yeah. Obviously, next game is another London derby, but this one's a lot bigger than the other one, I'd say. No disrespect to West Ham, Brentford, but we've got Tottenham, Chelsea, and I'm going to kick this one off with our Chelsea expert, Christian. Give us the lowdown, mate.
The bit I was dreading. I think everyone's starting to realise that Chelsea are not the Chelsea of old. Tottenham win, Gallagher card 3.65. Gallagher again, equal most fouls in the league alongside marvellous Nakamba. I really can't see us doing anything to stop the Tottenham momentum. Even the game that they looked like they weren't going to win, they managed to win at home Sheffield United and had that little bit of aura about them in the late minutes. I think a lot rests on whether we have Brohoff here as a target man, but I'm not sure we will.
Yeah, he's always another one that's constantly injured.
So what's funny is Christian is saying, people are realizing that Chelsea is not the Chelsea, winning machine from before. But no one is accepting that Tottenham is not the bottling Tottenham from before.
Can I just say something?
So
about
that's
that?
a bit weird because
Let
people are just saying every week Tottenham's going to crash, Tottenham's going to crash, Tottenham's going to crash.
I still think they will crash, and not to take anything away from Ange, because I think he's done a really good job.
Yes.
They're playing nice football. One, I think the squad is fairly thin. You take away, if for whatever reason Madison or Son is out that team, that's a completely different team. I don't think the back four is that great. They're playing well at the minute. But then they've not exactly been battering teams apart from Burnley, which was 5-1.
Yeah.
A lot of the games have been 2-1s, 1-0.
That's how you win title.
I agree.
Newcastle is scoring 6, then losing. Villa scoring 4, then losing.
I
So
agree.
consistency above flashy.
If that was, say, Man City, I would completely agree with that. I'd say, yeah, that's how you win a league. But this is Tottenham.
Yeah.
That will eventually crash. That's my prediction. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen. That's just what I see. Probably won't. No disrespect, Christian, but I don't think it will happen this week. But it will come on.
Not taken.
I think it's just what's really benefiting them is having that one game a week. It's massively helping, but it's worked the opposite for Chelsea because they've got a massive squad that needs people.
It's like
to
a
stay
football
happy.
manager when all your players are unfit because you have too many players to play them regularly. That's absolutely that. Do you see Chelsea scoring? How many goals have Tottenham?
I was going to ask, what's your score prediction?
I was more on the 2-1, 3-1 kind of score. I think Chelsea will win. Like if wins, I think Chelsea will score, and maybe probably Mudryk, but.
Well, it won't be Jackson.
But Christian was
probably going to haunt me.
Wow, I'm going to bet on Jackson scoring now.
Christian, you didn't see you guys scoring.
Not really. We've just looking at the table. We've got as many goals as Wolves this year, 13. Tottenham have only conceded 9.
Then if you don't see that, both team to not score is 225. Not both team to score, only one team or 0 team, so 225.
Can I just also add one more thing as well? Like Chelsea have got a really tough run in coming up.
Yeah.
They've got City next week, which obviously I was going to mention towards the end of the pod, but they've got a really tough run in. So they need to start picking up some points.
Yeah.
Because if it comes to December and they're mid-table again, the alarm bells are ringing.
Yeah.
The relegation scrap away to Man U on the 6th of December.
Probably will buy players to fight that.
Lucky it's December. If it was January, yeah, it would be. But then all this buying players, it's not exactly solving it, is it? It's not exactly...
Oh, no, 100%. Throwing money at
Exactly.
it to a degree, yeah.
Nicholas, anything from your side on this game?
Bissouma to get a card, 315.
Yeah.
So to get a card, 350. I think they tend to pick us in that centre of midfield.
Yeah.
I would go for the left back of Tottenham. I'm not sure what the status of Doogie is, whether it's him or Ben Davies running down that left back. I think 4.8 or 4.4 for one of them. Michael Oliver is reffing this game. He's averaging 4.43 yellow cards per game this season, and I think those are the guys I'd pick out as my sort of ones to watch. I also think this could be a corner heavy one, and you will see that when we do the wrap up and the spice collection, which I'm now just gate crashing the pod with, the 10 to 13, because I think it could be an end-to-end affair with one of the teams having to push and so on and so forth. Plus, looking out the window, it's been raining for about 10 days in the UK, which makes the grass slippery, which makes the propensity of corners greater. I'm now a hobby meteorologist as well.
Yeah.
Let's go!
The rain whisperer.
You've got so many nicknames on this pod.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Christian? Closing remarks.
I think I really like the weather analysis there from Nicholas with the storm coming in.
We have a weather pod as well.
Yeah, we're going to bring out this pod where it's just about spice and weather.
Funnily enough, Jackson Nicholas is favourite to get a red card.
Wow.
What? That's
21
He's
times
outside.
in front of Gallagher.
Bam.
Yeah.
That's
21 times the money in front.
And Romero.
In front of Gallagher. His lowest price to get a card. A red card.
That's interesting.
I gotta
Well,
take that.
we can end the pod on another bombshell then.
No.
God.
That's the bombshell. He got up. He's standing up.
I'm standing up because now, friends.
Oh God, here we go.
This is the part I don't want to listen
It's coming
to.
again. It's coming.
So I've got 4 things to spread out the joy and excitement over the weekend,
Yeah.
and 4 different levels of spice. With, I mean, one is unprecedented, and you will laugh at me, but
Okay, never do.
no, fine. The first one is for corners. So
Okay,
over
that, to his respect for the pod followers, that paid out massively last week. He took over 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in the first half or something. It was really good job, yeah.
So over 10.5 corners in Newcastle, Tottenham, and Forest Villa gives you 850. That is very low spice, but it makes it enjoyable to follow all 3 games.
Yeah.
The second one is the dominance of penalties, which is Liverpool to get a pen, City to get, and Wolves to get a pen. That pays 75, and we're starting to get hot here, lads. Starting to sweat a bit, which is why I'm standing up. And then we've got the cards, which we've seen from previous weeks. And to be fair, it's paid out profit in both previous weeks, because at least 2 out of 4 have come in. So there I've picked Mangala of Nottingham, Ben White of Arsenal, Bissouma of Tottenham, and Norwood of Sheffield. That's 181.
Yeah.
That's quite spicy, but I'm not done yet.
Oh my god.
So, and this, to be fair, this is very much singles, doubles, trebles, fourfold, micro stakes. But, hear me out. Mangala and Sangare in the Nottingham game. That's one double. Then you've got Bissouma and Cucurella. I mean, the favourite of the pod.
Yeah.
You've got Norwood in the Sheffield game, and then Ben White and Longstaff in Arsenal, Newcastle. The Aka pays out, drum roll please, because this is not going to be beat. 1,001.
No, but this is a serious pod.
That's my bombshell.
I mean,
and now I can sit down.
We lost the seriousness when he stood up.
Yeah.
That was gone.
It
But
was.
obviously this is, I think the record from the previous week was 266.
The 226 was a Luka Din card away from...
Last week with like a...
Yeah, but that only had 2 out of 4. So
And now this is 6,000 times the odds.
Yep.
Okay, so if you fancy that one, you know where to. Thank you, boys, for this week's pod, and thank you to all our listeners. Next week's pick of the week is another Chelsea game. Sorry, Christian. Chelsea versus Man City. So we'll be talking about that next week. Then, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.